Go. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me, and welcome to another episode of Deportation Defense Live. And thank you for being here. And today we're talking about what are my rights under VAWA in immigration court. Like how do we apply for VAWA in immigration court? What can we do if we've been the victim of abuse or extreme cruelty and now we're in immigration court? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Thank you so much for being here. And, I really appreciate your tuning in today. I was out last week, so I'm happy to be back. And so welcome to another episode of Deportation Defense Live. My name's Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. And thank you for everybody that's tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. Thank you all so much for being here. Okay? The Deportation Defense Live is here to train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants who are facing deportation to make the most out of immigration law, to make the most out of their lives, and to win their cases. So are you facing removal in immigration court, or do you know someone who's facing removal in immigration court? Because if so, you know that it is not easy. It's an uphill battle. The laws are against us. And here at Deportation Defense Live, we're here to maximize your chances of winning that case. So today our theme is, how do I apply for VAWA? Or what are my rights under VAWA if I'm in immigration court? And we'll do this as always in English, and then we'll do it in Spanish. And if you have questions as we go, then submit your questions. And we're here live. It's the 6th of June, 2023. I'd love to answer any questions that you have, okay? So I like to start with a brief empowerment tip, and my tip might apply for you or might not. My tip is to pick your kids up from school. And that's just what I'd title it, right? You don't have to actually have that be the thing. But years ago, I made a goal to be more present in my kids' lives. All right, and I did this because I want to feel like I'm an outstanding husband and father. Like I want to have that feeling inside of me for my wife and for my kids. It's important to me. All right, I don't want to only work. Although I am one of these lucky people who love working. All right? Like sometimes you got to tear me away from working because I enjoy what I do that much. But I choose to carve out time for other things that are important to me too. All right? So my empowerment tip for you is to think about what's an area of your life that matters to you. Right? What's an area that you might not dedicate as much time to as you want, as truly is important to you? And hey, time goes by too fast. Life is too short. Like, set some of your time aside to make the things happen that you want to happen. Otherwise, it'll pass you by. All right? And before you know it, your kids will be grown, they'll be gone, and that's it. Right? Don't let that happen to you. That leads to regret. I don't want that to happen to you. Anyway, pick your kids up from school or do what that thing is. Whatever that thing is for you, that will make sure that you are addressing all of the areas of your life that matter to you. Like, take that on. All right? I hope that's helpful. Hope it's useful. If it is, let me know. If it's not, let me know that too. All right, that's totally fine. So now I want to get into it. And, I'm going to share a real case with you. All right? Imagine that you were arrested. We're talking about VAWA. in immigration court. And so imagine that you were arrested because your spouse called the cops on you. And imagine your wife said to the cops that you were being violent, you were being abusive, and maybe that was the truth, maybe it wasn't. The cops had to arrest someone, so they arrested you. And after all the charges got dropped, ICE was there, and ICE came, Immigration Customs Enforcement came, and they interviewed you. And since you didn't have documents, they took you in, they issued a notice to appear, and they started deportation proceedings against you, which is scary, all right? And so you are in that situation. You pick up the phone and you contact a lawyer. Got it? So then you come into the lawyer's firm. You come in and you meet and you have a consultation. And you tell the lawyer that, yeah, you were the one that was arrested, but that actually it was your wife who had been abusing drugs and who had been in a violent fit, an episode, and who has threatened now multiple times to get you deported. And your wife is demanding that you give her money for her next drug purchase. And you were scared to tell that to the cops. And actually, you've been scared to tell that to anyone because you're afraid of what she's going to do and what power she has. She's the U.S. citizen. You're undocumented. All right? That's a real case. That's a real case. And if you are listening to me and if that is your situation, you're not alone. And that's a scary situation to be in. Like, what do you do if you're in a situation like that? Now you're facing deportation. You've got an immigration case in deportation proceedings in immigration court, but you've been in a toxic relationship, in an abusive relationship. All right? So in that situation, it's a type of situation where, hey, let's talk about VAWA. VAWA stands for the Violence Against Women Act. And it allows people, not just women, it allows men and women to apply for a green card, to apply for immigration relief if they have been the victim of abuse or what we consider, quote unquote, extreme cruelty in their marriage to a United States citizen or a green card holder. Okay? Now, if a person is in immigration court and they're in deportation proceedings, the process can be a bit tricky. It's not straightforward. Actually, VAWA is never straightforward. But when a person's in immigration court, it's especially not straightforward. And basically, there's three ways of doing it. Okay, and I want to just go through each of those three ways, and then we can answer questions. So way number one, method number one of applying for VAWA if a person's in immigration court. This is the method that I like to do the most. Okay? Method number one is we start with a motion to terminate, to close the case in court. And if the judge is willing, sometimes they are willing. If DHS is willing to join it, sometimes they're willing, sometimes not. But if we can do that first, then we can file what we call a VAWA one-step, where it's an I-360 and the adjustment of status all together applying for your green card through USCIS. And now, if the judge is agreeing to terminate your case in court, then this will work. It also only works if your spouse was a United States citizen. All right, if they're a green card holder, then you can't do a one-step. You've got to do the I-360 first. Hope that makes sense. If you have questions about that strategy, talk it through, or ask me, The second method to do this is to file the I-360 first. The I-360 is your self-petition. You don't need your spouse to file a petition for you. You can file it yourself. That's what VAWA allows a person to do. Okay? And you do that on an I-360. Now, I-360s are not easy to win. You know, you've got to show that you meet all the requirements, including that you were in a bona fide relationship with a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, and that during that relationship, during that marriage, you suffered extreme cruelty or abuse. All right? You file the I-360 first. You wait for it to be approved. Once it's approved, then you can move to terminate, all right, in front of the judge. Or if the judge is not willing to terminate, you can file the adjustment of status, the I-485, in court in front of the judge. That's method 2, all right? And sometimes the I-360 won't get approved for whatever reason. Sometimes there's a problem. And when there's a problem, you can do option number 3. Option number 3 is you file for what's called VAWA cancellation. This is cancellation of removal on E42B. All right? And I want to talk about the elements of VAWA cancellation, and then we'll wrap up today. And if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. So we've talked about VAWA the normal way on the Form I-360. There's a different way to do VAWA, and it's specifically for people who are in immigration court, and it is through what we call VAWA cancellation. And it's not on the I-360 form. It is on the E42B form. Mr. Tusk, hello. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. So I'm talking about VAWA cancellation, and I've done trainings about this more specifically. If you've got a case like this, either reach out or you could see our YouTube channel. You could do a search for VAWA cancellation. We've got articles about it on our website as well. But basically, you've got to show that you were abused or subjected to extreme cruelty. All right? You've got to show that you have 3 years of physical presence in the U.S. before the service of the notice to appear. All right? This is not normal VAWA. This is for VAWA cancellation, we call it. You've got to show you've got 3 years of quote-unquote good moral character, which is a legal term, right? Basically no arrests, no certain issues that are deemed as a, like, that would deem you to lack good moral character. You have to show that your deportation would cause extreme hardship to you, to your spouse, to your children, but it includes to you, all right? And you got to show that you do not have certain inadmissibility grounds, like certain criminal inadmissibility grounds, certain national security related inadmissibility grounds, etc. Okay? And basically you present that case all the way in court. And you can do that even if you first applied for VAWA in front of USCIS, and even if USCIS denied it, right? The judge has the power to grant cancellation of removal under VAWA, but anyway, so yes, it exists. It's not straightforward, but it can save the day. Okay? And so bottom line is, if you or someone you know is in immigration court but has been the victim of abuse or extreme cruelty in a relationship with a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, all right? It can happen also parents, if you have a child, a son or daughter who's been abusive to you, or if you are a child and you've been the victim of abuse. You know, it can work with other relationships too, but the most common one is domestic abuse with a spouse. It's just the most common scenario. Okay? If you are in that situation, or you know somebody who's in that situation, talk with a lawyer. Really think through each of the options that are available, because there are multiple ways of doing this. and you want to do the one that's going to be best for you. Okay? So let's see, Mr. Tusk, I saw your, you say good day, attorney. Good to see you again. Good to see you too. All right, thank you so much for being here. And let's see, David, you say hello. I had a deportation from the border 18 years ago, and I came back some time ago. And then what could I do to fix my papers someday? Well, David, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that question. You're not alone in that fact scenario. And the best thing to do, best advice, is to start with a consultation. And in the consultation, our team will explain this, but really what we want to do is we want to request your FOIAs. We want to request all of your records so that we know what happened when you were deported back in the day. All right, a situation like that, don't just apply for something right away. Like, take it one step at a time. Let's look at what happened in the past, all right, and what records, what records exist in the database of the U.S. government, so that then we can help you navigate and figure out what the best strategy would be to try to fix it. Okay, that's the best advice in your situation, David, and thank you for asking that question. Good. I don't see any other questions out there, and so thank you, everybody, for being here. So why don't I leave it at that for now, and thanks so much for tuning in. And if you still have a question, hey, I'd still love to answer it, right? And if this was useful, please subscribe to our content in our YouTube channel, all right? And you can click the notifications bell to receive additional updates and news. And if you have an immigration case, hey, please give us a call. We are here to help. We would love to help, all right? So thanks, and I think that's it. And we will start our episode in Spanish just shortly. Mr. Tusk, from your observation, how long does, on average, does an I-751 take, especially if it's based on a cruelty waiver? It's tough, right? It's tough. I-751s can take multiple years. I've seen them take 2, 3, as much as 4 years when there's a waiver process where you're waiving the joint residency requirement. Or sorry, when you're waiving the joint filing with your spouse requirement. And so that's I-751s are frustratingly slow. It often depends on the field office. Sometimes there's an interview involved. Sometimes they get the fraud unit involved if they believe that there was a red flag with the original marriage-based green card. If you want help with it, then we'd love to take a further look at it. Sometimes it's worth running FOIAs on the I-751 process, and sometimes you got to fight the I-751 in front of a judge. But you can't do it in front of a judge until USCIS has made a decision about it. And so anyway, that's the way it works. That's the way it works. Mr. Tusk, thank you for asking that question. Everybody, thank you so much for being here today. All right. My name is Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. Hope you're having a great day. All right. Hope you're having a great and powerful and amazing and making today like move your life forward in some way. All right. Your immigration case might be at a standstill. Hey, everybody has a couple areas of their life that are on standstill all at the same time. What could you do to move another area of your life forward? Or if you've got other things in your life that are at a standstill, hey, what could you do to make your immigration case move forward? I'd love to help you with whatever I can help you with. My team is awesome. We're here to help. We're just a phone call away, folks. That's all I got. Thanks so much for being here. Again, Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. And we'll see you next time on our next episode of Deportation Defense Live. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.